Have you ever been in a situation so strange, so unsettling, that no amount of logic could explain it? Tonight, I'll share with you 4 terrifying true stories from the UK. Stories of isolation, whispers in the dark, and secrets that might be better left buried. Make sure you're in a safe place, because once you start listening, there's no going back. Years ago, when I was a teenager, me and 2 friends loved exploring abandoned places. One weekend, we found an entrance to an old, disused tin mine in Cornwall. It was half collapsed, damp and silent, except for the occasional drip of water echoing in the distance. With only cheap flashlights and teenage bravado, we stepped inside. The deeper we went, the colder it got. The walls were covered in strange markings. Chalk numbers, scratched letters that didn't make sense. Then we heard it. Not footsteps, not dripping water, but something dragging across the rock, slowly, methodically. One of my friends whispered, "Mate, someone's in here." We killed the flashlights. The darkness swallowed us whole. For minutes, we stood frozen, listening. The dragging sound grew closer, echoing down the narrow shaft. Then, suddenly, a whisper right beside my ear. A single word, "Go." We didn't hesitate. We bolted out, scraping knees, dropping bags, until daylight hit our faces. To this day, none of us can explain what we heard, or how that whisper sounded like it was inside our heads. Story 2, camping in Dartmoor. Not long ago, me and my girlfriend decided to spend a weekend camping on Dartmoor, in Devon. It's a wild, open landscape, perfect for stargazing, completely cut off from towns and villages. The first 2 nights were peaceful. Clear skies, a fire crackling, and the kind of silence you never hear in the city. But every night, around the same time, we heard a strange sound, like a distant wail or moan. Low, drawn out, almost animal-like. But not quite. We laughed it off. Probably just wildlife. On the 3rd night, I woke up. There were footsteps outside our tent. Slow, deliberate, too heavy for a fox or deer. I held my breath. Then I saw it. A faint click. Flare of a lighter. A tiny flame flickered just outside, through the thin fabric. Someone was out there, watching, and then the flame grew. Sound of fire igniting suddenly. In seconds, the side of our tent was ablaze. We scrambled out, throwing dirt and water to kill the fire. But whoever lit it had vanished. We grabbed what little we could carry and fled toward the car. As we stumbled through the dark, the moor came alive with sounds, screams, howls, moans, echoing from every direction. When we finally reached the road, the night was silent again. Dartmoor held its secrets, and we had barely escaped them. Story 3, the open road. Driving alone late at night in rural England is unsettling enough. Endless empty roads, no lights, no towns for miles. One night, as I was heading back from a long shift, I noticed a pair of headlights behind me. Then another, then a third. 3 cars, all following at the exact same distance. No matter how fast or slow I drove, they matched me perfectly. My chest tightened. Were they following me? At one point, one of the cars pulled alongside. The driver just stared, expressionless, before falling back again. I took random turns, even looped back, but they stayed with me. For nearly half an hour, I was boxed in. Finally, I saw a lay-by with a faint light ahead. I pulled over, trying to look calm. The cars slowed, then, without warning, sped off into the darkness, vanishing into the night. No plates, no trace, nothing. I sat there shaking, asking myself the same question over and over. What would have happened if I hadn't stopped? Story 4, the mother's secret. But the most terrifying story isn't about strangers. It's about family. A few years ago, I had an encounter that still chills me. I'd been stopped on a deserted road by 3 men. They searched me, took my belongings, and one of them climbed into my truck. That's when I realized my phone was still connected. My mom was still on the line. The man inside was listening. Then his lips started moving. He was talking to her in Spanish. The other men approached, listening too. They spoke quietly, then, without warning, they returned everything to me. Keys, wallet, phone. They only kept the cash. Before leaving, one of them smiled and said in broken English, "Tax," as she did it. As I drove off, my hands were shaking. The cars disappeared into the night, no plates, no trace. I called my mom back immediately, demanding answers. She insisted she'd simply threatened to call the police, tracking my location. But I knew that wasn't the truth. The way those men respected her, the way they let me go instantly, the name they repeated, the same name my mom had whispered months before. I started piecing it together. Her guarded past, the fear in her eyes when certain topics came up, the languages she never spoke around others. The terrifying conclusion? My mom had ties, powerful ones, and maybe they never ended. Even now, I'm too afraid to confront her, because if I ask the wrong question, I might learn a truth I'm not ready to face. These are the kinds of stories that stay with you, not because they're loud or gory, but because they remind you how fragile safety really is. A whisper in the dark, a flame outside your tent, a convoy of silent cars, or a family secret too dangerous to uncover. Next time you're alone, on a dark road or in an empty field, remember, sometimes the scariest thing is knowing you'll never get an explanation.